Greetings, salutations. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, what is going on here? That'd be a good question. It'd be a good question. Well, I had a Verizon backup battery in our phone system. For when the power goes out, you can still use the phone, but we changed that to Verizon. But the box itself didn't get returned, and there was a battery in it. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's a pretty decent battery, 12 volts, 8-hour. Should be a good little battery. And I checked it, and it was good. I thought to myself, wow, this would make a good backup battery for my HTs, which can run off 12 volts. And you can, of course, charge your cell phone, run a couple of 12-volt lights and stuff like that. So I got the idea of building a battery box. But I thought to myself, one of these with the, is good, but you could get, if you doubled it up, it'd be a little bit better. So I thought I'd get another one. Now, a lot of the ones this size are 7 amps. But of course this is an 8 amp. So I wanted a 12 volt 8 amp to go with this, and I found this guy. And it is exactly what this is, but it's a knockoff version. This one is $30 brand new, and I didn't want to spend that. That's kind of ridiculous. So I ordered one of these. But the guy sent me 2. So I had planned on putting this into a box and making a little battery box, but of course, as you can see, the 3 of those together, that's a pretty good distance. Of course, now instead of having just the 8 amps there, I got 24, which is nice because it'll run my stuff a lot longer. So then I got to thinking, okay, if I'm going to build a battery box, I got to have a few things. First of all, you got to have a couple of switches to turn things on and off. I wanted a special power button that lights up so I could tell if I had the power on, so I didn't, use up the batteries. And then, of course, you need things like, plugs, zip ties. And I found these. These are for putting your wires. You slide your wires in and lock them in so you don't have to solder all the wires. So, of course, I have to put these batteries in parallel because I want to keep this 12 volt. If you do it in series, you increase the voltage to 36 volts, but you still only got the 8 amps. What I want to do is keep the 12 volts and get the 24 amps. So I got to do these in parallel. So you got to do some wiring, plus there's going to be wiring in the box. So I got these so I don't have to solder, which will save a lot of time and effort. Of course, I got some Velcro, and I've got the parts and pieces for connecting everything together and putting all the parts together. I also ordered a couple of USB plug-in lights with switches, 6-volt cords, so I can plug them into the box and have like 2 lights. Of course, one alone would fill a room plenty of light, but I have 2, which is always nice. And of course, I had to buy a box. I got this box from Walmart. It's nice and deep. What I'm going to end up doing is putting the yellow one standing upright and then the 2 black ones flat on the bottom, leaving space on this end to mount all the things like, if you've got this one right here, this is the USB, plus this is going to monitor my batteries to let me know how many volts I've got, because when you get down to a certain level, I think it's about 10.5, you can't go much lower than that because you'll just kill the battery. So I got some of those, plus some USB ports to plug into, 12-volt lighter plugs for the hand HTs to plug into. And of course I've got this, which is a plug that I'm going to use to attach to the batteries, and I can plug this into my trickle charger, and that'll keep the batteries topped off, and then every now and then I'll use the batteries to kind of wear them down a little bit, then I'll trickle charge them back up. So I need that part. I got myself a USB fan that I'm going to mount to the box, hopefully, because if the power's out, I won't have air conditioning, so I'll need some air. I've got these. These are actually like fog lights for motorcycles or stuff like that. I went with the smaller one, though. I only went with a small light. I didn't want to go with a real powerful one because these are LEDs. And I got 4 of them. I'm going to take these and I'm going to mount one here, maybe one on this side. And they're going to be on separate switches, so if you turn them on, it lights the whole room up. So you don't have to have those plugged in. Or if you happen to be carrying this and had lights on the end, you can use it like a giant flashlight, because these lights would run days on these batteries. Absolutely days. I also got a little 12 volt different variety charger with tips to try to charge different things. You can do 12 volts, 9 volts, 6 volts, and 4.5 volts, I think. And plus, it's got a USB plug down the bottom. So it allows you to do different tips to charge different things. Of course, you need some good black and red wire. And I didn't want to do a bunch of fuses, so I've actually gone with a circuit breaker, which actually makes more sense for the box. I can mount it inside. It's also a kill switch. If you push it, it'll trip the circuit breaker off and kill the power. Very important to have. And all this stuff, including that, is going to be in that box. The fan, of course, will be mounted on the outside, and this I'll probably store in the box somewhere, maybe. And then I'll have the lights on the outside, and then those ports. I'm thinking 2 right here, maybe 2 in the top over there for the 12 volts. I haven't really kind of laid that out. Depends on how everything goes inside. And of course, I have a lot of miscellaneous wire that I can use to build this project with. But of course, I had to buy the batteries, and some of the fittings and ends, as you can see, are brand new. I had to buy these, and of course, I had to buy the fan, and of course, the lights. I had to buy those as well. These are pretty sweet lights right here. I'm thinking those are going to be pretty nice. So I got all these parts and pieces together. I can finally build my battery box. Now, the beautiful thing about this is, anybody that's ever looked into battery boxes, or for ham radio, or just to have when the power goes out, because this is going to be able to run anything. I could put a small inverter in there and use the inverter to actually power household plug-in items if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to do that, at least not yet. Now, eventually, I'm going to take this plug right here, and this goes to a trickle charger. Eventually, I will actually put that into a solar charger and get a solar panel. I think a 30-watt solar panel will charge these batteries just fine and keep them topped off, and then I won't have to worry about, like, when the power goes out. Eventually, these batteries will need charging, and if the power is still out, if I got a trickle charge, it ain't gonna do me no good. So eventually, I'd like to turn this over to a solar generator, basically, is what it'll be. But you start off with a battery box, build this first, get all this working, and then I'll add the solar part of it later on. So that will be added later on. But right now, I just want to give you a little sneak peek at the project. I hope to be starting this in the next day or two. This will probably take me at least a day, if not 2 days, to get completely wired up and working, and I will try to do some videos as I go along showing you how to install these and stuff. I did buy a Dremel tool to make it easier for cutting holes, so there'll be a whole lot of stuff I'll be doing to get this to work, and it should be pretty good, hopefully. Anyway, we'll hope. And these are gonna be great right here. I was pretty lucky to get the extra battery. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I got, so of course that made that even a better buy. So anyway, this is part 1. Part 2 will be of the making of the box, hopefully. If for some reason I can't video it while I'm doing it or something, I'll be sure to show you the box when it's completely finished. So there will be at least a second video. Anyway, that's the start of it. I'm pretty excited. Hopefully this is going to be great, and hopefully you guys are interested in seeing it, and I will be more than happy to bring it to you. Alright, we'll catch you beautiful people in the next video.